So yeah, what you showed me was phenomenal, and I'm so grateful to have you on. And um, it feels good what you said, and it made perfect sense. And I'm actually have implemented a little bit of it, and it's so much more lighter and freer. So
Mm.
is I went on a bit of the road trip that Gabby's on, and I was down in Oamaru, and I talked to my friend Lisa, who's on the call now, and I was like, you need to get on this call and hear from Dommy. Like, so cool what she brought to the table. So guys, thank you so much for jumping on. I'm recording this, so if you guys can't rush through your notes or whatever, please let me know. I will send it through. I hope that's all good, Dommy.
Absolutely.
So they all know about you. They know that I have a bit of a soft spot for you and respect you so much for just being so warm and open, but also doing so well. Like, and I know we've had some pretty, well, I have had some pretty deep talks with you going, oh my God. And you've always just shared your wisdom. And I know you've been doing Isogenics for 5 years. Is that right?
It'll be 6 in December.
Oh, so coming up 6 years. So what I've told
Yeah.
the team is how I feel about you, and that I want you on my team call, but also what you've been able to succeed. I said that, you know, you're qualified for those incredible trips, and you're in top 2 for global top achievers for Whistler. And I've looked at the criteria for that, and it is hardcore, like hardcore. So, Dommy, you're frozen. Please come back.
Am
Oh,
I back now?
you're back now.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard anything what I just said, but I was just telling the team, telling you what I've already told the team about you. And yeah, if you want to just share a little bit about how you got started with ISO to break the ice, and then just tap into what you shared last week about what you went through, like you and Brendan went through, about being in a rut and being stuck and then reinventing the way you want to do it, that would be marvelous.
Beautiful. Well, firstly, thank you so much for having me in your space with your beautiful team. I can see all your faces. Hello, ladies. I guess for me, like, my journey in isogenics began different to most, and I'm just going to turn my camera off, ladies, just because the Wi-Fi is so crappy, and I'd rather you hear what I have to say instead of me breaking up. So yeah, I was born in Aotearoa, Rotorua. Spent my first 18 years in New Zealand. My family's from Great Barrier Island, if you know anyone from out that way. But for me, I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit, and I guess just, you know what it's like growing up in New Zealand. Like, we're just so blessed to be raised on love. And, you know, for me, just with that entrepreneurial spirit of just wanting more for myself, it led me to Australia. And 6 years ago was when my journey really began. 7 years ago was when my journey really began in health and nutrition. And I became a personal trainer. And through my journey of being someone who, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Beautiful. And being someone who's just always been someone who just loves on people and loves community and just loves supporting people, when I launched into my personal training business, it actually led to me, one, being self-employed, but two, managing over 70 clients a week. And whilst I loved what I was doing at the age of 24, helping so many people, the reality was for me two things. One, I was starting to burn out after 6 months, struggling to energetically hold that many people. And two, I actually became self-employed because my mum had a terminal illness. And so I thought, going down the path of being self-employed, I at least would be able to own my time, choose my hours, and, you know, set my days up around, you know, what was required to help look after my mum. But what I found was, because my business blew up so fast, I was working 16-hour days, 7 days a week, and my mental health took an absolute beating. And Isogenics came into my life differently to how most people are introduced to the products. I actually actively sought out Isogenics for a client who was underweight. So most people come into Isogenics because they're either introduced by someone, because referral based, and two, most people know it as a weight loss company. That was never my story. And so I put the products simply to support a client, and because I was open to change. I was open to what was possible. Like I said, always been entrepreneurial. Anyways, it was only a product thing for me until day 5. And as you ladies know, the story goes, put the products in your body, magic happens. And for me, I woke up on that 5th day happy. And that was something that I valued so much more than anything else, my mental health. And so from there, because I knew there was something different in these products, I didn't know exactly what it was. I wasn't aware of, the Eastern medicine or the hidden depth within ISA at that time. But I got to really feel into this. And I'm so grateful that that was my introduction to Isogenics, because I had no one pressure me to do anything. I just got to have my product experience and really, really sit with that. And yeah, it was literally in that first week that I was like, okay, if I'm feeling this good and I'm already healthy, imagine how everyone else is going to feel. And so naturally I started sharing the products, because I thought, this is easy, it's cost effective. It's common sense if you do the math that it works out cheaper than what you spend on day-to-day food. And it's something that people can do even if they're not exercising. And to me, I was like, all of a sudden my mind just totally expanded, because I was like, I'm going to be able to help nourish my mom. I'm going to be able to help my dad who can't exercise. And just my mind just went, holy shit, like there's so many people that I can help with this. And so basically what happened was I started to get paid from Isogenics, and I only knew of product introductory bonuses. And I just thought it was a cash rebate that you got from sharing the products. I didn't know anything else. And then one week I got paid more money than my personal training business, which was doing really well at the time. And I was just like, what the heck is this? And the second thing was that I got paid the following week on a time where I hadn't actively traded time for money for Isogenics. So I asked a girlfriend if she could send me something on the business that could help educate me on how I was generating this money, because I thought to myself, if this is the sort of income that I'm making and I don't know how I'm making it, imagine what would happen if I learnt what this was. And then my girlfriend sent me a 20-minute podcast by Peter Kelly, and Peter Kelly shared the opportunity. Bawled my eyes out, because it literally was like everything in my life suddenly made sense up until that point. I could see how if I worked this, it would give me the time freedom to be with my mum, but I could still contribute to positively impacting other people. And so from there, I got myself to an event and learnt what this was. And yeah, the whole journey for me has always been feeling based. It's always been soul based. And like I said, like this is my leading question that I ask people these days, because so many people are stuck because they're trying to adopt other people's ways of building this business. And the reality is, and this is what I say to people, how would you do this if you didn't know how it should be done?
Yeah. If you had no
how
one
would you
showing you or helping you or teaching
yeah
you their way.
Yeah, exactly. How would you do this if you didn't know how it should be done? Because the reality is we all have the same tracks to run on, and that's great. But how you choose to share this is completely up to you. And I want to share with you, through my journey, I've had so many transitions through this business. So when I came in, obviously I was a personal trainer. So the goals, it was helping people get that before and after. And that felt really good to me for a couple of years. And then I moved into a space where I didn't want to share before and afters anymore. It didn't feel good to me. I didn't want to I could see there was a mismatch where the marketing wasn't matching the essence of what these products truly do for people. And I wanted to bring people in who didn't give a shit about before and afters, because they need these products just as much as everybody else. And and I'm sure you've experienced over time, like people, they have this preconceived idea of what isogenics is based on how they've seen it marketed. But the reality is these products, they nourish the body in a way that we just aren't being nourished with our day-to-day food. And the result of being nourished properly is that everything starts functioning properly, the brain starts to come alive, and we start to feel better. And if you look at, this is one of the key things that we do in our team now, is we help people build that self-awareness from the get-go of their journey. So what we do in our team is when we do our welcome calls, and this is what I was sharing with Anne, when we do our welcome calls, they go for 15 minutes. And what we do is we ask them if they're in the practice of journaling. Most people say no. And we say, cool, would it be okay if before you start on your products, you write down a day in the life of Amy? What are your energy levels like? What are your stress levels like? When do those cravings start to kick in? Is there a time of day that your body's like, give me coffee? What are your hormones like? What's your mood like? How do you feel when you put your clothes on? Really helping to build that self-awareness of how a person's actually feeling. Because here's the thing. People will come in thinking that 5 kilos is the solution to their happiness, or they'll come in thinking releasing 10 kilos or building out that bikini body is the solution to their happiness. It's just not true. And trust me, as someone who's built out the perfect physique and still being miserable, it's this place that doesn't exist, right? If the goal is external. And what can happen is if someone's primary focus is on releasing, say, 5 kilos, and we've put a time frame on that. Every human body is different, for one, and we've put a time frame on that. Someone might get to 30 days, and all this magic has taken place in the healing of their body. But because the goal is external of themselves, if they don't hit it, what's going to happen? They're going to feel defeated, like it didn't work for them, like it's not worth continuing, right? So many times over the years I've seen this happen. And the other thing with scales as well is that you could have someone who actually they release 5 kilos of fat, put on 2 kilos of muscle, but the scales have only shifted 3 kilos. So we help people build that awareness, and we also educate them on, what happens in an acidic body. And that's when we have crappy energy, we have bad skin, we don't feel good within ourselves, our sleep is crap, our hormones are all over the place, we might be carrying that extra weight, we're not feeling good within ourselves. These are all signs of an acidic body. And then we share with them what happens when they move into alkalinity. When you start to move into an alkaline body, better moods, better sleep, better brain power, faster recovery, relief from aches and pains, clearer thinking, clearer skin, visceral fat loss, lean muscle development, and overall mental health happiness, right? So this is the space that we educate people on now, and it feels so good because, like I say all the time, our bodies are changing all the time. And as women especially, with our hormones, with our cycles, with just the changes of season, how can we base our happiness on the channel, right? So I just want to make sure that you've still got me.
We're here, nodding away.
Beautiful. So going back to like the journey, I just got to this stage where I was like, I don't want to post before and afters. So I stopped. Did my business still grow? Hell yes, it still grew. Why? Because I was having heart-to-heart conversations with people, and I was teaching my team to do the same. The other thing that comes up, and I'm in this phase now where I really want to just shine light on, you 100% can do this business in the ways that you think are, the things that you think are stopping you are actually, they're just illusions, right? So many people say, I want to do this business, but I don't want to post on social media. And you know what I did? I didn't post Isogenics on social media for a whole year. Did my business still grow? Yes. Signed up 52 people that year. Why? Because I was having heart-to-heart conversations with people, right? And this is what I was sharing the other day. Attraction marketing is not network marketing. So posting on socials, that's not actually network marketing. Network marketing is developing networks and tapping into your networks with your product. It's marketing your product through your networks, but it's not posting on social media. It's presenting the opportunity one-on-one and asking those good questions and, you know, forming that relationship with people. So many people hide behind socials, but it's if you're someone who's like feels that they need to post before and afters all the time and always be talking about your product, if you go through my Facebook, you'll see that there's like nothing about Isogen, unless it's in truth with where I'm at in the journey, right? So like if I'm having a shake and I'm feeling it, I might post about it, but I don't do any marketing through my socials anymore because it just doesn't feel good to me. So the one thing I want to share is that I think the thing with network marketing is that it's not being taught properly. And so that's one thing that I was sharing with Anne is network marketing, when done right, is the most incredible vehicle to get you to where you want to be in life. But people need to understand how network marketing actually works. And this is what I'm not sure if you ladies are aware, and just give me a nod if you know who Robert Kiyosaki is, who wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yeah.
Anyone know? No, most people don't.
Sorry.
Okay. Amy does. Beautiful. Okay, most people don't, right? So most people, they want to build an Isogenics network marketing business, but they don't actually understand how their business works. And it's really hard to build out an organization, a team, or a business if we don't understand money, because that's essentially why people are building a business, right? To generate that income. And so Robert Kiyosaki wrote a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and he also wrote a book called The Cash Flow Quadrant. Has anyone heard of the Cash Flow Quadrant before?
Not till last week.
Okay. Beautiful. Okay, cool. So in Robert Kiyosaki's book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he explains how money works. Now, most people are only aware of active income. In fact, 95% of people generate 5% of the world's wealth, and these are people who trade time for money. So and let me see if I can, would it be okay if I share my screen?
Yes, please.
Okay. Let me see if I can just get this rocking and rolling. Sometimes it's nice to see a visual of what's being spoken. Okay.
It's amazed me how you did this.
It's all on my phone. I can teach you how to do this. Right. So where are we at? Okay. So yeah, what they don't teach us in school, right? So just let me know if you can see my screen.
Yep, we can.
Beautiful. So this is what's called the cash flow quadrant, right? 95% of people sit on the left-hand side of the cash flow quadrant. And like I said, these are people who are employees or self-employed. This side of the quadrant generates 5% of the world's wealth. This is where we trade time for money. Chances are 95% of the people that you know are either employed or self-employed. It's the way the schooling system teaches us, right? Teaches us to become employees. On the right-hand side of the cash flow quadrant, you have business owners and investors. Now, with your right-hand side of the cash flow quadrant, this is where 5% of people sit, and they generate 95% of the world's wealth. Now, I don't know about you, but I'd rather be kicking it on the right side of the cash flow quadrant. So to transition from the left side to the right side, there's 3 ways in regards to business ownership. The first way is traditional business. Now, traditional business is great, but most people don't have the capital to open traditional business. And statistics show that 90% of traditional businesses actually end up closing their doors within the first 5 years. And of the 10% that continue on, most of those end up closing their doors before the 10-year mark. Now, why is that? It's because, you need your systems up and running properly. Most people go from self-employed, having a passion, to being a business owner. And you end up having to wear all the hats, and then you've got like economic factors and things like that. The second way is through franchised business. This is where you're buying into a ready-made system. So think Zarafas, F45, Anytime Fitness, McDonald's, for example. The thing with franchise business is that, once again, you need the capital. And more often than not, with franchise business, you're looking at $750,000 plus upfront cash that you need to have to be able to buy into a system. Now, once again, most people just don't have that money. Now, the last way to transition from the left-hand side of the quadrant to the right-hand side is through network marketing. This is where you're buying into a ready-made system. With network marketing is it's low entry point, low risk, and have the ability to generate, an uncapped income depending on the work and effort that you put in. And then from there, transitioning from business owner to investor is the pinnacle. That's sort of where your money's making you money, right?
Yep.
And that's like passive income and through property and shares and stuff like that. So most people, when they come into this, they still have the employed and self-employed mindset. They don't have the business owner mindset. And like I said, 95% of people, 5% of people, right? So let me just share with you. So in Isogenics, the Isogenics cash flow model is actually the same as the quadrant cash flow model, in the sense that we have a left side of the quadrant and the right side of the quadrant. The linear income, active income, is where we trade time for money. These are your product introductory bonuses, your rank advancement bonuses, and your team bonuses. So your pay based on the performance of your team. On the right-hand side, you've got leveraged income. This is your millionaire mindset, where I'd rather receive 1% of 100 people's efforts instead of 100% of my own. So like I said, most people, they come into this and they might build out income, sure, but they stay on the left-hand side of the quadrant, trading time for money, chasing those product introductory bonuses, chasing that upfront cash, but they're not focusing on building out leveraged income, right? Yep. Leveraged income is your residual income. And so that's where you're actually going deep into your team as opposed to going wide. And so with Isogenics, when done right, is just the most incredible business model. And I don't know if you guys have heard of the concept of a penny doubling, but it's a beautiful way of explaining exponential growth, which is what Isogenics is built on, word of mouth marketing. And, it's people telling people, telling people, telling people. If you have 2 people who tell 2 people who tell 2 people and so on the 10th day of the month, if it was a penny doubling, you'd have $10. On the 20th day, you'd have $10,000. And on the 30th day, you'd have $10 million. And so that's the compound effect. That's building out a network, right? And the most beautiful part about what we have with Isogenics is that we only build two networks, one on the left and one on the right. And we in Isogenics get paid 6% total of the business volume that comes through our organization, infinite levels deep, right? So that's that. When you're getting a cycle, you're getting paid 6% of the business volume that's flowing through your organization. Now, I just want to show you the numbers because most people don't understand the numbers. Now, you can work this math out however you want. This is how we choose to explain it in simple terms. So as we know, Isogenics, the magic number's 10, right? And look at, we call it committed consumer coaches. So people who are in it for the financial opportunity, they're sharing the products because, yeah, they're in it for the business. If you were to help 10 committed consumer coaches, each bring on 10 committed consumer coaches, you'd then have 100 people organization there to share the financial opportunity. Now, if you have 100 people going out and sharing with 10 customers, you then have 1,000 people in your organization. If you have 1,000 people in your organization who are just ordering 100 BV of product a month, that's 100,000 BV at 6% is $6,000 a month, $72,000 a year.
Nice.
Now, most, yeah, and that's US dollars. Most people don't get to see the numbers. They don't actually get to see, how many customers it would take at 100 BV and so on. I think most people would be grateful for, a quarter of that, a third of that, half of that, right? It would be life-changing. So just know you can make the number of committed consumer customers, whatever you need to in order to reach your goal. But yeah, with 100 BV, and this is what I was sharing with Anne, like for us in our journey, Brendan and I got to a point in our journey where our network marketing business with Isogenics it came to a standstill, and we really had to self-reflect. And we really needed to check in with ourselves because the reality was Brendan and myself, we're what you'd call high-end salespeople, meaning that it's very easy for us to close on an ultimate pack or a premium pack. For myself, and this is what I was saying and the other day, literally it took enrolling or maybe I was sharing it with the girls, after 250 premium packs, I was like, enough's enough. Because I looked at my own business, right? I looked at my own business and my statistics and retention and all these things that matter. I was going, these numbers aren't lining up. And Brendan and myself, we looked at each other and we're like, how the hell are we ever supposed to build this out if our team can't do what we can do? Like we're trying to like we understand how sales work, and we're trying to tell them that they can do something that we know is not their strong point. And yes, you can leverage it, you can do all these things, but for us, it was the belief. And because our business got to a standstill, basically no one was enrolling. No one was enrolling ultimates or premium packs. We might get the odd.
Oh, Dommy. Dommy?
Something that we live by.
Oh, you disappeared for a little bit, Dommy.
Have you got me back?
Yep. You were talking about how your downline isn't selling ultimate or premium packs.
Yeah. No, they weren't being like, no one was enrolling, and we were just like, it got to a point where we felt like frauds.
Yeah.
And that's a feeling I wish on nobody, because the whole way I've done isogenics is in alignment with my truth. And I've always, like I've shared before, Brendan and myself, we're not the fastest builders in isogenics, nor do we care to be. But we do have high values and standards around leading our team and really moving from that space of, like, we have trust and respect in our team. And yeah, we just got really real with ourselves, and we were just like, we just didn't feel right. It didn't feel right anymore. And that's a feeling I wish on nobody in this business. And it doesn't have to be that way. And this is what we've uncovered, right? So what we did was we sat with ourselves and we're like, what are the products that we really use? Like, what are our non-negotiables? What can't we live without? And then we did market research in our team. And we put the question out there and we were like, what are the products that you can't live without? Most people said shakes, ionics, e-shots. They didn't know the head and depth of ISOG back then. We do now, and everybody's on it. And so for us, we were like, what if we, instead of doing packs, we created something that was in alignment with our truth, with the products that we take every day, that most of our crew takes every day. And what if we packaged that up and we took that to the marketplace? Because here's the thing. How many people do you know skip breakfast and have energy crashes throughout the day? Right?
Yeah.
And would it be okay if you just helped them have a nutritious breakfast and have better energy? Imagine the ripple effect of what that could do, right?
Yeah.
And what we figured here as well is that we're meeting the need of so many more people. And because it fits within most people's money of a couple $100 worth of product, all of a sudden there was this massive shift in our team. And now as a team, what we roll with is winning the morning to win the day.
Win the morning to win the day.
And what we've found is that our team's enrolling. Win the morning to win the day. That's it. We just help people set their mornings up right so they have a great day. Our focus is no longer on 30 days. The word 30 day doesn't even get mentioned anymore. It's cost effective. In Kiwi dollars, I think it works out to maybe
60.
maybe $6.50, $7 a day.
Oh, a day, yeah.
Yeah, a day. So it's super cost effective, cheaper than what most people are spending on coffee and a snack on the go. So it's it literally is transferred spending. And the thing that we were kind of like held us back a little bit was, are the customers going to get the same result? I can share with you, after implementing this since June, they've been getting the most insane results. I'm not even kidding you. Like, what isogenesis does in the human body, if people knew what that product actually does, there wouldn't be a day that people would miss putting it in their body. And if you ladies weren't aware, it's based on Nobel Prize winning science and the latest in DNA research for youthful aging. But the blend is an Ayurvedic blend of the most powerful raw ingredients that Eastern medicine has. And it literally goes to work at protecting the chromosomes on your cells, the telomeres. And as our telomeres get shortened, well, Dr. Bill Andrews says when telomeres shorten, bad things happen. It's when our DNA starts to break down. So we want to be doing everything that we can to protect our DNA. When we have healthy cells, once again, better brain power, clarity, focus, skin, hair, relief from aches and pains. The body moves better for us. We just feel better. We come alive. We have so much energy. And I'm just watching the testimonies flow through, literally by helping people with the Forever Pack. It's incredible. And my niece, she got started on what we call the morning ritual pack, which is literally a shake for breakfast, shot of Ionics, and 12 e-shots come in the pack. She released, and everybody's different as we know with compliance, but she released 21 kilos in 90 days, no exercise, just from changing her morning routine. And you know what I think it is? There was no financial stress on her. So she never started Isogenics because she could never afford $600.
Right.
I've been doing this for nearly 6 years, and she only got started this year. It was always because she couldn't afford it. Young mum. And so now we've got all these testimonies where people, so when people say to us, oh, but, you know, does it work the same? Yeah, it does. It does. You know why? Because it's ease and flow. There's no diet feel around it either. There's no restriction feel around it either. There's no time frame. There's no auto ships. Our auto ship retention's gone through the roof. It's incredible.
So the morning ritual pack is a shake in the morning, Ionics, and then e-shot later in the afternoon.
That's it.
Yep. And what's the Forever pack?
The Forever pack is 2 canisters of shake and a bottle of Isogenesis. One of our ladies lost 4 kilos in 30 days on the Forever pack. No exercise. Elder lady. She's loving it.
That's awesome, man. Well, when I first got started on Isogenics, I didn't get a pack. I got shakes, and then I just tried Quatters Ionics because he got a pack as well, my husband. So in theory, I got the Forever pack too. I just didn't know it. And I lost kilos.
That's it. That's it.
And so this pack is 100 BV. So that's going back to the quadrant where you're having that retention. No, sorry, the leveraged income. The retention's staying leveraged income.
Yep.
And then the people in your team that have money issues, like everyone's got money issues, but don't want to talk to anybody because they don't want to say that the packs are $600. They feel more happier about sharing it because the packs are only $260, etc. So they're more willing, open to sharing it.
That's it. That's it. We've got more people sharing. So what happened for us was we implemented this in June. And we were like, and we literally, so just so you guys know, we haven't made this up. When our business came to a standstill, we literally prayed for an answer and decided to follow the leadership of a couple of American leaders who have always ran with 100 BV. A beautiful woman named Susan Miller. She's been in Isogenics for 9 years. She's personally created 8 millionaires. Then we've got Dave MacArthur and Carrie. Their businesses, they were number 10 highest income earners for a platinum business center. Dave and Carrie have been doing Isogenics for 14 years. He's the man behind the Forever Pack movement. So just so you know, we didn't make this up. We just chose to follow different leadership in Isogenics. So we've just sort of moved away from what ANZ's up to and just gone, hold on, who's actually built out network marketing businesses and what have they done? And they've always just run with 100 BV. Because Isogenics, this is what people don't realize, Isogenics was built on 100 BV. Jimmy Smith says 100 BV to be set free. Is how the compensation plan's designed. If you look at, minimum order of an active account, it's 100 BV. The 9-day cleanse used to be 100 BV. So the Forever Pack's 122 BV, and the Morning Ritual Pack's the exact same 122 BV. So for us, when we went to work on studying isogenesis, and I'd highly encourage you ladies to take the time, grab Isogenesis, your bottle if you have it at home. If you don't, just jump on the internet, Google each of the ingredients, spend the time. It'll take.
I love that stuff.
Yeah, that's it, and you'll understand the hidden depth. So compliantly, we can't share what some of these ingredients say that they do, obviously, because we can't make any claims, but just so you know, this is you just need to know because when you know, you can get excited about it and you can share from a space of excitement, right? And so when we share it, we're like, if you knew what we knew, if you knew what we knew, you wouldn't miss a day type thing. We never make any claims, but just for your own personal knowledge, it's just so powerful. Like it if you've been on isogenesis before, you'll put two and two together, especially with like how you're feeling in your headspace. So that would be one thing that I'd recommend. And that's what we did. We went to town on listening to all the science talks, and we got excited about the product again. We really got excited about the product again, because in order to build out this business, we really do have to be excited about we have to want to share it, right? And not just like a mundane chore. Like we have to really want to share it. And so, yeah, it was from there, like we literally hit Crystal Executive again in the reset. And then I think we made like 6 consultants that month or something. But then the next month so we finished 4th. I think Brendan and I finished, 4th. I can't even remember. We finished like 2nd or 4th for, I think it was 4th for peak performance, all because of the 100 BB concept is what we call it. And we're currently number 2 business center in ANZ for global top achievers.
And that is massive. That is massive. I went to Global Top Achievers for the Bahamas, and I got that because I hit 3-star 3 times. And while I was there, Kathy Coover was up on stage and she was describing the requirements to get to Global Top Achievers Whistler. And there was no new option. So I was a new option because 3 stars not much. I was around all the big guns when I went there, but they're not having that this time. And they really are going to focus on the leaders that are doing well, etc. And they've the matriarchs of the business kind of thing. And that's you, Dommy. Like when I saw the requirements, I was like, oh, I can't do that. Like, I know it sounds negative, but I'm just being realistic. Like it was way out. I'm not experienced enough yet to get that. But when I heard that, when you told me that, I was like, far out. Like that is massive.
Well, that's just it. And this is like what makes me so excited, because you 100% can do this. It literally, and so many more people can as well. Like we're literally making this business realistic for everybody now.
Yeah.
And it's just been so beautiful to watch our team just get excited and just really step into their own as well. That's been really beautiful to watch, because it's a belief thing, right? Like,
yeah,
I think with this business, after a while, if the results aren't there, our belief can start to diminish.
Yep.
And things like that. And with this new way, like we're literally just helping people set their mornings up right.
Like, so do you talk about the other,
just the other packs as well?
Yeah, do you talk about the other packs at all, or is it just you just sell morning ritual pack? Dommy? God, my interruptions have cut her off. Are you guys enjoying this? Yeah, thumbs ups. Feeling good?
This is great.
Awesome, man.
My line.
Dommy!
I can't hear you, but can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh,
okay,
cool.
Beautiful. So around sharing the packs?
Yeah, do you ever talk about the other packs? Like when you're in that conversation with that person, how do you, in your head, do you always just go for the morning ritual pack, or do you explore other options with them as well, knowing that you've got the morning ritual pack as well?
Yeah. Yeah. So what I say to people is my primary focus is to help you build out a healthy lifestyle. And based on what you've shared with me, this is what I'd recommend. And I normally share the Forever Pack or the Morning Ritual Pack. However, if they've said to me that they, it's say it's a requirement for their health to release 10 kilos fast, we do meet those people and they need the full system, right? I'll share with them how the full system works 100%, because once again, like, even though we're marketing it to meet the need of those who just need that daily convenient nourishment and aren't looking for that full body transformation, I'll still listen in and I'll offer the full system and then let them decide. But this is the thing, I'll share with them openly. What I found over the years, however, is that most people become overwhelmed when they have too many habits to change. And guess what happens when people become overwhelmed? They stop.
Yeah.
And a confused mind does nothing. So I say to them, if you feel that you can do, the full pack, I'm going to 100% support you on that. However, if you feel that you'd rather implement a couple of daily habit changes and go from there, the journey might take you a little bit, but I'd rather, like I said, help you build out a healthy lifestyle as opposed to a quick fix. Would it be okay if you take my guidance on this one? Because the other thing is, like, why do we have to rush into getting that result quick fast? Like,
yeah, why
most
do
people,
we?
Exactly. That's the question I asked myself. I was like, why can't someone cleanse in the second month? Why does it all have to be in the first month? Because the other thing I analysed is, well, how many people do a strict 30 days and then they go on to maintenance, but they also go back to crappy eating habits as well? And doesn't that reverse doing a strict 30 days? Like, when we have common sense think about it. And so I was like, why can't I just help someone actually implement a habit that they're going to find easy to stick to? And then the second month, introduce nutritional cleansing, which we do. We always upsell products after we know that they've had a fantastic experience, they're loving what they've already got, and then we say, oh my gosh, wait until you try the greens, or oh my gosh, wait until you try the e-shots, or wait until you try the hydrate on a hot day. Like, why is there this need to rush? If it's people before profits, why is there this need to rush? That's just how I feel. Like, I just sat back and I was like, yeah.
That is so beautiful. And it just feels good, right? And that's how I'm feeling about it, is that I don't have that ickiness in my tummy that I'm trying to sell.
No.
Yeah, that's just so good, and that just comes out. That's very, very.
And what I've said to quite a few people now is, how many people say isogenics is too expensive? Like, there'd be a lot, right? So a beautiful way of following up with those people is just to say, like, hey Susan, last time we chatted, I know you really wanted to try isogenics for yourself, but found it was too expensive. Would it be okay if I showed you how you can get the same results at a third of the cost? Would you be open to revisiting isogenics with me? The same results at a third of the cost. That sounds all right.
Yeah.
And then you just, because you do like this is the thing. If you're helping someone put these products in their body, they're going to benefit. And I just feel like there needs to be less focus on having epic results in a condensed period of time, and more focus on the actual nourishment and feeling aspect of what these products do. I feel a lot more people would have stronger retention in their business centers. I feel people's journeys will be a lot more pleasurable when they're not comparing themselves to where they think they should be, especially if someone's come in on someone else's before and after.
Oh yeah, that's happened to my team. Yep.
Yeah, it's an unrealistic expectation because there's so many variables that take place.
Yeah.
Everybody's bodies are different, exercise is different, you know, what the food they put into their systems, it's so many variables. And so it's unrealistic we could market before and afters and like celebrate our own success. Yeah, 100%. And I guess I totally understand the visual aspect of showing what these products can do. But yeah, I just think like there's healthier ways of sharing these products with people.
I love it all. I'm gonna wrap it all up though, Dommy, because you've given us an hour of goodness, but I do have a few more questions. When you said you and Brendan are fantastic at sales and you can sell ultimate packs and premium packs, how have you learned to do that? And is that from your previous background in being a PT, you know how to talk to people and solve people problems? Or have you done some research, some learning? Like, what is your way of doing it?
So it definitely was a prior skill set coming into isogenics. So for me, I worked real estate with my dad. And so I've grown up with my dad being like, he owned a real estate company, gun salesman, and then my granddad was a property developer. So it's sort of
You've been
the language
sales.
Yeah. And then Brendan was a financial planner and worked in wealth management, and obviously selling the services of the bank was a part of his skill set. So coming into personal training, had no money story with taking money or anything like that. But then throughout our network marketing journey as well, we've invested a lot of time, energy, and money into the events to learn the language, things like that. So it's definitely a skill that can be taught. And I think that, we are, one of the things as well, like I just wish everything was more transparent in what we do and that people just owned what we do. So we get paid off the distribution of products that run through our organization, aka we get paid for the amount of sales that go through our organization.
Yeah.
People buy products, we sell products, we receive commissions from that. Like we don't need to have any noise around it, but so many do because it's so shady. So this is something that I'm really on taking ownership of in a leadership aspect, because people just feel so shady around what we do, and I'm like, well, the network marketing as a whole has so many different things that, I just want to help give it redefine it, I guess you could say. But yeah, to answer your question, we had sales skills prior.
Awesome. And can you tell me your last 3 conversations that have led to sales? How did you meet them? How did you get to their pain point and their figuring out? I want to know about the strangers that you've met, you've met before, after you started Isogenics. I'd love to have a breakdown as to how that conversation.
Yeah, beautiful. Let me think of the last few people I've brought on board.
And how did you meet them? Because I'm like, you're in Bali. How do you meet people in Bali? Isogenics isn't even there.
Bali's the best place to clean up. Just because everyone's so open-minded and entrepreneurial and looking for ways to make money online. Okay, so the last girl that I enrolled, I met her through Instagram. Cannot remember how the relationship started. I think she reached out to me because of something she saw around traveling.
Right.
And then from there, if someone hits me up for something other than product, then I always lead with the business. And the conversation would have gone something like this, like, hey, honey, thank you so much for loving on my content. You know, have you ever looked at different ways of generating an online income so you can well, that's essentially what we do. And so for me I have, well, I wouldn't call it templates or scripts, but I have ways of that the conversation flows for me. And this is why I would be terrible at presenting on stage, because how do you share isogenics? Ask good questions. Be a human being. But no, from there, it was literally like, this conversation's been going on for so long. I was in Brisbane, the start tour was in Brisbane. I was able to get her there as my +1. Oh. Even then she was excited, but I think the whole thing was too overwhelming for her. Yep. So she didn't get started, which is totally fine. That happens. Everybody's different. But then I reached out to her for product, and I just said to her something along the lines of, hey honey, a few of us are getting together to do a 2-week morning ritual challenge. Just wondering if you'd be keen for the deets. And she said, hey, yes, what's involved? And then I just shared with her, basically we're all purchasing our products. We're going to be added together in a Facebook chat, and we're all going to support each other with setting up our morning routines for 2 weeks to help build out those healthy habits. And she was like, yeah, cool, send me the details. It was a lot of backwards and forwards. She still didn't start when we all started together, but she eventually got started. So she was someone who came through Instagram. These days I'm so slow with my conversations, because I speak to people every single day. I have no attachment to like getting them in my team. Like, I have to go to my team.
Yeah.
So I just want to share with you ladies, like, if the door's open and people know that they can come to you and that you're the isogenics person, it's still important that people know that you're the isogenics person. Then if you provide a safe space for people, chances are they're going to choose you, because nobody likes to be pressured into anything. Everyone wants to buy something and nobody wants to be sold to. That's how the saying goes. So yeah, I always have the conversations with people. I always find a way to share my story. I always find a way to pull out a pain point and then match my story to theirs in some way. And then from there, offer, if you're open, I'd be happy to send you some information about, what I'm taking. And it's just like, it's so flow.
Yeah.
So flow. So
that's so
does
cool.
that help?
Yes. Oh my goodness. So much. And that's something that I need to practice more and more and more. And I suppose it's just something that you just test and measure on how to get those conversations flowing, how to find the pain points, so to speak, and share my story and blah, blah, blah. So that's so cool. Does anyone have any final questions for Dommy before we say goodnight? Someone's hammering in the background for me.
Yeah, it's always happening in Bali construction.
Some bamboo scaffolding being put up.
Yeah.
Nobody's got any questions? No. Oh, honestly, if you have some later on, just message Dommy, because she's so fucking cool. She'll reply and be like so happy to help. Dommy, thank you from the bottom of my heart for just not even hesitating. You're just saying, yep, I'd love to be on your team call. It's so nice, and I love what you've done, and I'm so impressed and proud of your achievements, like getting out of that rut and finding your groove, doing it your way, and learning about stuff and educating and making impact, reaching out to other people and finding out, like, that is so cool. I suppose I'm doing the same thing. But yeah, I'm just so grateful, and thank you. You're wonderful.
Oh, you're welcome so much. And if there's one thing that I can leave you ladies with is that you 100% can do this, and you 100% can do this in your own way. And who's to say that you're not the person that leads Isogenics into the next wave of momentum? Truly, I say that like with full belief, because I truly believe that if people just stepped into their uniqueness in what they have to give instead of trying to be like somebody else, that's where we're going to see this company go into, you know, $1 billion a year, $5 billion a year, and so on. And that's in our hands. So
there's no freedom in trying to be someone else.
That's it.
That's it. All right, Dommy, thank you so much. Good night. I hope.
Good night.
It's probably, is it morning over here for you or something? Afternoon? No. All right, Dom. Good night. Thank you so much. Thank you, ladies. Love you all. Good to see
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks, ladies. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.